No matter what age your child is, you want the best for their future. What do they want to do after graduation? What career path do they want to take? These questions can be overwhelming. That's why you should ask them this question. What's your E? Seminole County Public Schools ePathway program is designed for your student to choose their own path in life from as many options as we can offer. Whether they're looking to enlist, enroll, or be employed, we're excited to help you and your child make it happen. Want them to enroll in a college or university? We'll help you find the best school for them to continue their education. Learn about grants and programs to help your child obtain their degree at a pace and a cost that works for you both. Are they looking to go straight into employment? Discover a variety of trades and skills that will propel their future. They can learn aviation maintenance, automotive repair, culinary arts, and more to hone their talents in growing industries. Is your child interested in enlistment? We'll help them find the right path of service, whether it's military, law enforcement, fire response, or EMS. They can serve the community while learning skills that will last a lifetime. What's your E? Explore options with ePathways by visiting us online at the link below.
What inspired me to get into engineering was Lego. So I started as a kid, as most kids do, working with Legos and just kind of doing your own thing, building the Lego sets, and I would often take apart my Lego sets, mix them together, and build something completely new. Then in about 4th grade, I was introduced to Lego robotics, which is where you have a actual robot that you could program, and you start with this brick, and that would feed information to Lego motors, and it would all communicate as a system, and you could do a lot of really cool robotic tasks with that. And that was really the start of me looking into engineering. The engineering I'm looking to pursue at first is mechanical engineering. This is what I'm going to go to UCF for, and this is going to be the start of my career. A mechanical engineer can really do anything. They work with a lot of thermodynamics and a lot of vibrations and really just anything that moves. So a lot of fields use mechanical engineering. I want to go past that and specialize into biomedical engineering, which is more along the lines of surgical robotics and medical machinery. I want to develop surgical robots, and with that I need to know exactly how the human body functions and how it functions with robotic systems. Essentially, I'll be able to design a system where a person will be able to communicate with a motor and hopefully improve their quality of life, whether this be through a surgical robot that a doctor is controlling or whether it's a prosthetic that's motorized.
I taught Josh his freshman year. He was so good with that inventor material. He picked up on it very quickly. He was ready to jump in and help other students, which I really, really appreciated. And he has carried those characteristics with him as he has moved through the program. And now with his journey moving forward in bioengineering, I can't wait to see what he's going to make with his knee brace and the orthotics that he's trying to produce.
The current prosthetic I'm looking at developing is a load-bearing knee brace in which I'm going to take a motor or servo and attach that to the knee, which will enable a person to be able to push past what their muscles currently are able to do, whether that be because of muscle fatigue or osteoarthritis in the kneecap where they're not able to put a lot of pressure on their knee. Current knee braces really only work when walking. There's still a lot of pain when there's extra forces being applied to the knee, such as walking upstairs or standing up from sitting down, things you and I normally don't think about. But for someone that has severe arthritis in their knee, this is hugely painful.
The strongest advantages of project-based learning, that hands-on experience that allows you to manipulate that material, really solidifies in the brain exactly how those things work.
The thing I would say about this program where it exceeds the most is the more you use it, the more it'll benefit you.
Good evening, everyone. If I could ask you to kindly take your seats, please. Thank you. Welcome, welcome, everyone. I call to order the January 21st, 2025 school board meeting. Tonight, Member Davis has our invocation.
Good evening. I'd like to welcome everyone to 2025 since we haven't been here since then. I hope it's going to be a great year for all of you and for all of our students. Just wanted to remind each other that we celebrated Martin Luther King's birthday yesterday. I know that a lot of our board members went to a lot of events over the weekend. I'm sure they'll tell you about it later. But I just wanted to remind you that we are honoring a man that was dedicated his life to others, including the education of others. I just want to remind you that he had a profound belief in education, and that was one of his priorities, because education can transform lives. Education is the key to our future. If we're not educated, then we don't know how to learn from our mistakes, and we don't know how to move on. So I'm hoping that when we remember him, we think of his thoughts and his desires to make education an important part of our lives. He understood that it's not just about acquiring knowledge, but also cultivating empathy, understanding, and a commitment to justice. Dr. Martin Luther King knew that educating our children, by that, we are shaping our future, and we are shaping our commitment to not only those here around in our own local community, but to our state, our country, and the world. So he is an example that we need to carry through when speaking with our children about education, about how important it is, about how it creates a friendship among communities and a friendship among people. We want to honor his vision, his continued ability, even through passing, to promote these beliefs and to be a role model for the rest of us. If we can continue to do this, I think we all will have a bright future. I appreciate every one of you who stand by the school district and who educate your kids at home in cooperation with the schools. Our theme is communication with one another. It's our commitment to one another, and our ability to collaborate to make the best of our education for our kids. So again, I want to thank you all for participating in that, not only our staff, our teachers, our administrators, but you as parents and members of the community, because each one of us can be our own role model for our kids. And we do that every single day. It doesn't have to be a giant step. It could be talking in the car about something that they learned that day. It could be showing them real life situations to the education that they're getting in part in our school district. So thank you and good luck this year. I know that last year was rough for a lot of us, but we will continue to strive and we will continue to succeed. Thank you. If we could all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you so much, Member Davis. Let the record reflect that Board Member Sanchez, Board Member Dellinger, Board Member Davis, Vice Chair Garrick, and myself are present, along with Superintendent Beeman, Attorney Cole Palmer, and our Board Clerk Jill Moramus. Are there any acknowledgements this evening? I did see Katie Davis out there.
Katie Murphy.
I'm sorry, Katie Murphy. Hi, Seminole County Council PTA. Any other acknowledgements? Former Mayor Persampier's in the audience celebrating, I think, tonight. Nice to have you. Are there any agenda modifications, Superintendent?
Yes, the addendum for good cause is marked on our electronic agenda by a green flag named addendum item.
Thank you very much. Board members, roll call order for tonight is Member Sanchez, Vice Chair Garrick, Member Dellinger, Member Davis, and then myself. Board members, do you have any agenda modifications? Member Sanchez?
No modifications, Chair.
Thank you, Vice Chair.
No modifications, Chair Kraus.
Member Dellinger? And Member Davis?
No modifications.
And I have none either. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Did you get that, Sanchez? Garrick? Is there any discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion passes. Okay. Superintendent, we have some recognitions this evening.
Yes, we do. We have a number, and we will start with our Veteran of the Month, Mr. John Watkins, who will be introduced by Mr. Rivera.
Thank you so much. Board members, join me.
Good evening. I'm here to introduce the Veteran of the Month. Okay. All right, good evening. I'm here to present the Veteran of the Month for January 2024, John Watkins III. John Watkins III was born and raised in Altamont Springs, Florida, and graduated from Lyman High School. At the age of 18, he joined the U.S. Army as an 11 Bravo infantryman. He completed basic training at Fort Benning, Georgia, before embarking on a distinguished military career that took him to various parts of the world. John's first duty station was Fort Richardson, Alaska, followed by Fort Knox, Kentucky, where he served as part of the Retainer Army's truck operations. His next mission took him to Camp Hovey, South Korea, where he guarded the Korean demilitarized zone. He was later stationed at Fort Campbell, Kentucky, where he graduated from Arsenal School as part of the 101 Arsenal Unit. During his service, John completed 2 tours in Iraq, served in multiple other locations, and participated in specialized training programs across the globe. Rising to the rank of Staff Sergeant, he earned numerous awards for his dedication and exemplary service. After retiring from the military, John returned to his hometown of Altamont Springs, Florida, where he became a manager at Regal Mattress. Seeking a new path, John joined Seminole County Public Schools Transportation, where he has proudly served as a bus driver for 18 years. John is the proud driver of the Success Bus, which he and his wife, Angela, take great pride in maintaining. Every weekend, they come out together to clean both the inside and outside of the bus, ensuring it reflects the care and commitment they bring to their roles. John is a devoted husband to his amazing wife, Angela Watkins. Raise your hands, Angela. With whom he shares a remarkable partnership in both life and work. Together, they are an inseparable team. John is a proud father of 3 daughters, Brittany, Crystal, and Constance, and 4 sons, Jeremy, Marquez, Timothy, and Anthony. He embodies the role of a priest, provider, and protector for his family and the students he serves. Thank you, Staff Sergeant John Watkins III, for your service to our country and our students.
All right, good evening, Superintendent Beeman and board members. Tonight we have a few recognitions of some state champion runners-up that we want to introduce here tonight, as well as a teacher who was inducted into the Hall of Fame. So first up, we're going to start with our FHSAA state runner-up for girls golf. Would you please help me to congratulate the Lake Mary High School girls golf team? Yes, the winning ways continue this season for the Lake Mary High School girls golf team. The Rams tournament season began with a win at the Seminole Athletic Conference Championship, and next up, another strong performance and a win at the District 4 Championship. At the Region 1 FHSAA tournament, Lake Mary played their best golf of the season to win the regional championship. The Rams' strong play was sustained throughout the state finals and carried them to a team runner-up finish, and the 2024 team maintained a tradition of excellence at Lake Mary High School. Listen to this. Since 2014, the Lake Mary girls golf program has won 7 state titles and finished runner-up 3 times. No other golf program in the state of Florida can make that claim. Joining us here tonight is the principal of Lake Mary High School, Dr. Mickey Reynolds, and the coach of the team, Coach Dennis Birchall. Congratulations. Yeah, just stay on up. Our next recognition tonight is also a team from Lake Mary High School. Would you please help me to congratulate the FHSAA football state runner-up, the Lake Mary High School football team. With their 12-3 record, they achieved the most wins in school history and went to the first state championship game in Lake Mary's 43-year history. They are led by head coach Scott Perry, who is in his 21st season. He is the longest-serving football coach in the history of Seminole County. The Rams are the Seminole Athletic Conference champions, the 7A District 3 champions, FHSAA Region 1 champions, and the FHSAA State of Florida 7A runner-up. These seniors right here that you see before you are the winningest class in the history of Lake Mary football, with a total of 40 wins, 12 playoff games in 4 years. The team represented Seminole County and Lake Mary community with class and sportsmanship as they set school and county records on their way to the state championship game. Joining us here tonight is the coaching staff led by Coach Scott Perry and his assistant coaches, and of course, Dr. Mickey Reynolds. Congratulations. Congratulations, guys. Check. Test, okay. All right, and next up, each year the Track and Field Hall of Fame Selection Committee from the state of Florida releases its list of Hall of Fame inductees, and we are proud to announce that one of our very own was recently inducted to the Hall of Fame. Would you please give a huge round of applause to former Seminole High School track and field athlete and current teacher, Dr. Dorshell Webster. Dr. Webster was a student of Seminole High School, where she competed as a track and field athlete, winning 11 state championships. As a teacher at Seminole High School, she taught physical education for most of her career, and then recently decided to go back to school at Capella University, where she earned her doctorate in reading and literacy. Once she received her doctorate and also reading endorsement, she decided that she wanted to do a little bit more to help assist students and inspire them by transitioning into the reading classroom to help students to improve their reading comprehension skills. We are so proud of you, Dr. Webster, and congratulate you on this highest honor. And joining us tonight is the principal of Seminole High School, Mr. Michael Pfeiffer. Congratulations.
Good evening, Superintendent and School Board members. I'm Jean Van Smith, the Executive Director of the Foundation for Seminole County Public Schools, and I'm joined by Shannon Reininger, our Mentor Coordinator for our Take Stock in Children program. January is National Mentoring Month, so we wanted to take a few minutes to recognize our outstanding mentors in our Take Stock in Children program who make the program possible. Our 115 students in the program are so appreciative of our 109 mentors throughout Seminole County Public School at each of our high schools, including Seminole Virtual. We recently had one of our students who graduated from Take Stock come back and share about her experience. She was a first-generation college student, like many of our students, and she said when she went to high school and decided she wanted to go to college, her parents told her she could do it, she could excel, she could go to college, but they're her parents, so they had to say that. So to have a mentor in her life who started as a stranger and over the course of high school became a supporter, became a cheerleader, became a friend, to tell her, you can do it, take that AP class, apply for college, apply for Bright Futures, or maybe something as simple as, yes, you can pass your Algebra 1 exam. That hearing that from a mentor made such an impact to her self-confidence. So I just want to say thank you. When you believe in our students, it gives them the confidence to believe in themselves. I want to make sure to thank the mentors we have here tonight. So as I call you, come on up. We have some of our community mentors as well as some of our SCPS staff. We actually have 23 SCPS staff members who are mentors. So a big thank you to Deborah Bauer, Bertha Gant, Cheryl Blakeney, Stephen Young, Sean Gard-Harold, Victoria Gonzalez, Maria Rex, Robin Dellinger, Lynn Tier, Missy Mercado, Heidi Gooch, Katie Murphy, and Mark Mullins, who represent just a few of our many mentors in the program. Thank you so much.
Okay, board members and Ms. Beeman, please welcome Amanda Jamalvo, new assistant principal of Heathrow Elementary. Ms. Jamalvo is a product of Seminole County Public Schools and attended the University of Central Florida, earning her bachelor's degree in elementary education. She began her teaching career in Jacksonville and then relocated to Tampa. She then earned her master's degree in ed leadership from American College of Education, and in 2019 relocated back to Seminole County, continuing her teaching career at Evans and Lawton Elementary. Family members in attendance tonight, and they can come up. Husband Andy, son Landon, parents Dominic and Debbie Persimpier, and in-laws Steve and Noreen Jamalvo. She's also supported tonight by Heathrow Principal Brett White.
I was going to say, my eyes are already watering.
Oh, gosh. I know. Okay, Superintendent, focused on student achievement.
Yes, we have Mr. Rice here to talk about 23-24 high school graduation rate.
Excellent, thank you.
All right, good evening, board members. I am here to just share some of the data with you based on our grad rate that was recently released about 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago. You know, as we know, this is why we are here in this job, is to help these students to obtain that high school diploma, to have an opportunity for their future. And tonight I'm going to share those results of the work that we did. As you'll see, we graduated almost 5,000 students last year, which is an increase of almost 300 students. And what a great honor to be able to celebrate with all of these students and their families at graduation each year. So first, I just want to show you briefly here the graduation rate trend over the years. And you can see both as a state and as a district that is on the positive and working its way up. A couple things I want to point out to you as you look at this data is when you look at 2020 and 2021, due to the COVID pandemic, there was some emergency orders that were put in place, and so you see the data both for us and for the state increased significantly, up to, for us, as high as 95.5%, and as a state, 90.1%. Last couple of years, you have seen a little bit of a decrease for many different reasons. I think number one was just the challenges that we endured as a society. And then last year was, as you are probably aware as well, was the first year that the new state concordance scores were put into effect. And I am proud to say that, that even with those scores, we had 4.4% the year before that did not obtain a concordance score. And last year, even with the higher scores, we had increased or decreased that down to 3.8% of our students not achieving concordance. However, I know we're all looking at the same graph here, and you do see that from a state perspective, the gap has gotten closer. And so that is absolutely something that we are researching, and something that I'll talk about in a few minutes here, just some thoughts of what we're going to take a look at, because we too are concerned about that and want to make sure that our rate is much higher than the state level than is still showing right now. Looking and breaking it down by each of our schools from 2019 all the way through, and I think it's important to always look at that 2019 data, because that is the last time we had some I don't want to say real data, but some data that was comparable to where we are currently before the pandemic. And so as we take a look at that data, each of our schools have done a lot of work, and I'm very, very proud of our principals, our teachers, our assistant principals, counselors, and all of our leaders who work each and every day to sit in front of and motivate and guide our students, to help our parents to understand what they need to do to support their child. And as you see in this data here, we have a few schools that we're gonna work with, but I also want to celebrate. There are some schools that have really made some significant gains. Specifically, I'm sure you can understand, to maintain a 100% grad rate for Crooms Academy is just outstanding. It's a very difficult feat, and something they continue to do year in and year out. Looking at Lake Brantley High School, from 23 to 24, 4.8% increase. That is huge in 1 year. 1.4% increase for Lake Howell, and maintaining that high 97.8%. They've kind of stayed there at 98, 97 for the last couple of years, and continue to show some great work there. And then Seminole County Virtual School as well, having a 5%, almost 5% increase, is definitely something that we're very proud of. As I mentioned, I did want to share that, we are, as we look at that, yes, we increased by 0.1%. You see the state increased a little bit more than that, 1.7%. And we're taking a look at that. We do know that, and I know the work that our principals are putting in is not necessarily reflective of what you see here on the screen, and that's something that we're digging deeply into. We're taking a look at many things, whether it's the coding of when a student leaves us and how they're coded, and sometimes we probably could do more to follow up when a student says they're going from school A to school B. There are things like looking at the concordance scores, and I mentioned that we got better this past year, but I think that is an area that is a challenge, and we have to get those state graduation requirements to a point that each of our students, every one of our students, can pass that exam. I do want to report, as of right now, in the beginning of this month, last time I pulled the data for Operation Graduation, our students that still need it for the class of 2025, we were at 16.1% last year at this time, and this year we're at 11.1% of the students needing a concordance score. So the work is happening, and I think it took us some time with those higher levels to be able to figure out, how do we meet the needs of our students and really help them to be prepared. We're building capacity. I think that's another area that, in education, we've had a high turnover. And so building capacity of how do we code, as I mentioned, and how do we work with our students, our families, and help them to achieve their goals. And so that's just a little summary of just some of the things we're looking at. We're going to pull the data and really extrapolate where we see some trends and where we see some other areas that may need a little bit more support, and figure out how can we continue to get more students across the stage each year. So that's a little summary of our high school graduation rate and where we are currently.
Board members, any questions? Member Sanchez?
Sorry, no. Thank you so much for sharing this data.
Vice Chair? Any questions?
No, I was just going to say thank you, and I especially appreciate that you were taking a hard look at those numbers and looking for places that we can make our kids more successful. So thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Member Dellinger?
Yes, I just wanted to say that I feel certain, like you, Mr. Rice, that none of us are satisfied with the 91.8, but I also know, based on my knowledge of working with this district, that when there's a problem, you immediately see how are we going to address that challenge. So I'm certain, like you just said, your team is already digging into the data, student by student, to determine your adjustments, as you were just speaking. And also that there's many facets to this problem, including, like you said, consistency in data quality, as well as monitoring the interventions and supports provided to students who are challenged in terms of meeting all those grad requirements. A lot of challenges and requirements to meet. So, but I also know, as it was said to me back many years ago, the expectation in Seminole County Public Schools is that all students will graduate with the skills needed to lead a successful adult life. And I'm really, really happy to hear all the work that you're doing. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
And Member Davis, any questions?
Oh, I just had a question. Is this the fall graduation, or does it include summer as well?
So this includes all the students through the summer. There's a cutoff as soon as they enroll in the next school year, or do not graduate prior to the next school year, then they become a non-graduate at that point. So it's all students that before the start of the next school year have walked across the stage.
Okay. Thank
and earned
you
their requirements.
for all your work.
Thank you.
And I too wanted to share my thanks. I know I saw today we were at Hagerty, and our principals are so creative. I'll just share with my fellow board members and the audience. Instead of a typical reading enrichment class because a student didn't pass ELA, Mr. Frasca has combined teachers. There was a science and a reading interventionist. So it was a true elective instead of, oh, I have to take the reading class and I'm going to sleep through it. The kids were engaged. The teachers were spot on top of them. I know that we're doing the work, and I'm just grateful for the innovative ways that we're meeting the kids where they are to get them across the line. Thank you, and thank your team.
Thank you. As you mentioned, they're always trying to think, how do we meet the needs of the learners? And that's one of the things they came to us and they said, we'd like to try something different because I'm not sure this is working. So thank you for recognizing
Very
that.
grateful.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Okay, it's now time for board discussion, non-committee updates. So Member Sanchez, I'll give you 3 minutes.
I'm going to speak fast, I promise. So first of all, I wanted to thank our PTA, and Stephen Young was here. He's Take Stock in Children, but he's also our PTA president. I was a guest speaker. Christine Krause and I were on the call Saturday morning, and I spoke about some of the legislative changes that are happening and some support that I would need from them. And that meeting was recorded, so if you want to view that meeting, just ask PTAA and they will get that to you. There have been so many different events that many of us have participated in, so I'm going to allow you all to discuss it because basically I think we've all been to everything, I feel like. But I do want to share a couple things that I know that have not been discussed, or I was the only one on that committee that are not our school-based committees. One would be the Seminole Cultural Arts Council. That's a committee that I serve on. We are doing things a little different this year that I had requested that we focus more on the student artwork and culinary arts. So we are February 1st. I know Superintendent Beeman has already purchased her tickets. We're already at 120 tickets sold. It will be at the Castleberry Art House. And if you haven't had a chance to go to that, in Castleberry, or go to SeminoleCulturalArts.org. The event is February 1st, and we are going to also have different art mediums from different high schools displayed. And the culinary arts is also doing the food for us. We have different types of music and everything like that. We were trying to squeeze in the rainbow violin group this year, but I think we're going to have to squeeze them in on our next function because we couldn't this time. But just so you know, tickets are selling out, and we really I would love for you all to be there. Student government, I was a guest speaker at Lake Brantley last week with them, and we had a great time. Mr. Rice did a really fun interactive activity with them. They seemed to really enjoy that, so thank you for doing that. While I was there, I was just walking around the campus, and the fire truck pulled up, and our fire, non-emergency, they were there for a field trip and to the high school students and for all the English classes. And so all the kids were taking turns to go visit my fire truck, Unit 16, and they were sharing with them for like 25 minutes about everything, about putting out fires and the safety of fires and everything that was on the fire truck, and then what they need to do to make sure that the fire hydrants are checked on a monthly basis and so on and so forth. So I really loved seeing something unique and different, and they are trying to do that at least once a month where they're having somebody come in and having an in-house field trip. So I thought that was really unique and fun. Also, one of the other boards that I sit on, the Ritz Theater. How am I doing with time?
You're okay.
Oh. Dr. Gard Harold. He's not even going to look up. The Ritz Theater, we are going to rock and roll in Sanford, guys. We had so many new members. Midway Elementary Schools, music director, Millennium Middle Schools, theater director. The arts are alive big time, and we are going to revamp the Ritz Theater like you have no idea. We spent hours, and just so you can see the booklet that they created for us or that we're working on, we're not going to be able to do all the objectives to this, but this is just pages of activities and events that we plan on doing to revamp with summer camps and puppetry and all that stuff. So Edna Bland, we had so many phenomenal teachers there that want to serve on the committee, so we're super excited because we're bringing the Ritz back completely and renovating the whole theater. So Sanford's going to be super excited to see everything that's going on with that. And then other than that, I'm going to leave the rest to everybody else because there has been so many different meetings that we've all been to with legislative priorities and so on and so forth.
Thank you so much. Vice Chair.
Well, New Year is here, and we have hit the ground running. A few highlights over the past few weeks. I was able to speak to a local group about the need for volunteers and was able to recruit a couple of people to attend the recent RAP training, the Reading Acceleration Program. And I just want to let you know, if you have a heart to help our students, whether it's working directly with a student, whether it's working from your home, whether it's an hour a week, an hour a month, or occasionally throughout the year, we can absolutely put you to work. So if you want to reach out to me, I'm happy to point you in the right direction, or if you'd like to speak directly to the Community Dividends Department, they will put you to work. We would love to help you support our students. Also, on that note, I got to peek in on the Ambassador Program, which is one of my very favorite days of each month. It's our community ambassadors, and these folks are parents, community leaders, people who want to get a better idea of how SCPS ticks. And every time that I attend one of these sessions, I am amazed to watch people's jaws hit the ground. I think they have to lift their jaws up to continue speaking about the wonderful things, the myriad of things that are happening in our schools that make us unique. We visited Sanford Middle School as well as Midway Elementary. I had to duck out for a meeting with the superintendent, and so didn't get to head to the third location. But in addition to amazing and dazzling our folks, what I really want to do is meet and listen to the stakeholders and hear what the concerns are and what they are looking for from our schools. And I had a couple of really great conversations. We represent county-wide, and though I live in Sanford, it's important to know the heartbeat of what's going on in our schools throughout the district. So I was able to talk to a mom who just moved here last spring from a state up north, which is known for its premier school districts. And she said that her family had had an opportunity to move down here several years ago, and she kept putting it off because she has a special needs son, and she was very concerned about what she heard about Florida school systems. She said since they moved here in April, her son has soared. And so a special thank you to Student Success Services. She said that he has excelled in ways that she didn't know possible. He's been able to eat lunch with peers, to have opportunities that were never afforded to him in the state from which he came, and they're really looking forward to where he will go. Looking forward to the transitions when he gets to high school and many of the other wonderful services that we have to offer. Also on that note, talking about the magnet schools that I visited that day, we've got Director Sioka here today, who is the director of our student assignment and program access, which oversees the many choices we have. And so we've got loads of great opportunities for your students. It's the elementary school magnet program window is now open. And so I encourage you to look at our offerings. Again, if you aren't quite sure how the schools differentiate themselves, reach out to Director Sioka. You can also arrange, and I encourage everyone to visit the schools, arrange tours with the principals, with the teachers, talk to parents, because each student is an individual and unique in their talents, in their passions, and you don't quite know what will spark with him or her. So please take advantage of all the opportunities we have. And I will leave some for other people, but yesterday was the culmination of a weekend filled with MLK events throughout the county. I was incredibly proud yesterday to be among several of the board members and the superintendent and I, to be among 70 plus entrants in the Sanford parade. We had schools, we had community members, all celebrating MLK, who, as member Davis commented, as we kicked off our meeting, was incredibly passionate about education, knowing that that is the foundation for success.
Thank you so much. Member Dellinger.
Yes, just to echo Member Garrick, the Martin Luther King festivities were very amazing, and I guess I'd just like to compliment the organizers for putting together some really stellar events. One stands out to me, and it's the oratorical contest that was held last, I think it was Friday evening, and the award winner, she won a $2,000 scholarship, was a young lady from Lake Mary High School, a senior from Lake Mary High School, Mercedes Diaz, and her speech was incredible. I mean, really amazing. And I think she has a great future as a lawyer. That's her plan.
Agreed.
And she also spoke at the commemorative dinner and really was, I think, the hit of the evening. So we should be really proud of her for that. I did want to mention I made my first some school visits to Crystal Lake Elementary, where they have a brand new principal, Christina Rowley-Huss. She's doing an outstanding job and gave us a big update on things. And also we went to Greenwood Lakes Middle School and had a fantastic morning looking at data, but also visiting some pretty and wonderful classrooms. It was a good morning. So that's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Member Davis.
I don't have much to add except for you want to start looking into next year's programs. As Board Member Garrick had mentioned, those applications are getting started, so don't miss out on some of those deadlines. Also, the FAFSA is coming up. It's going to be due for those of you who have students or students of friends of yours that are thinking about going into college next year. All those applications should have been started already. The FAFSA needs to get out there. So even though it's January, we really need to take a look at what's going to happen this summer and the following year. So I would encourage you to all look at that as soon as you get the chance, sooner than later. But that said, I mean, it was a great weekend for Martin Luther King celebrations. I heard a lot about some of them that I didn't get to go to, so it was really interesting. Every year they just put on such amazing programs. So we want to take a look at those next year and try to learn about all the things that we do have available, because it's amazing how much each student is treated individually and with their own interests and goals, because as we know, we don't have just standard courses anymore. So take a look at them early.
Thank you so much. I will add that our community partner, Orlando Health, had a ribbon cutting of their new hospital, state-of-the-art hospital, which we learned today is becoming the prototype for all of their other new hospitals. And it feeds our students. You know, we have a clear pathway for our students at Seminole in the medical classrooms that will then go to Seminole State and on to employment. And we're very proud of that partnership. Orlando Health has done a phenomenal job working with us. We all attended the Seminole delegation at the Board of County Commissioners, where we heard from our local legislators about the money that they're putting away and not going to spend this year. So we're not quite sure how our priorities will land with them, but we're hopeful that they'll understand we need to continue. We need to continue fueling our potential future workforce. And then finally, it is registration time for the littles in elementary, the spring break enrichment programs. If you'll go on our website, you can find information where to sign up for that, and those will fill up fast. So that's it on my non-committee reports. Board members, we have an RFP for district-wide food services that we need a board member to serve on. And I was given the most recent list. I think Member Garrick and Member Sanchez were both interested. So I'll let you arm wrestle it out, either one of your schedules.
Since I was chair last time, I haven't served on a committee in quite some time, so I would be more than happy to serve on that. It's up to you. I don't want to take it away from you.
If you'd like to step up, I'm happy to give you the honor.
I'll do it then.
Okay, so
Thank you.
we'll update with Member Sanchez, and then you'll be up for the next one, Vice Chair.
Thank you. I look forward to it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay, thank you.
It's been a while.
Thank you.
so
I
much.
appreciate it.
Okay, it is now time for our public comment agenda items. Vice Chair, if you would please read the...
With pleasure. The purpose of the public participation segments of the board meeting is to allow the public to address matters within the board's jurisdiction and not to resolve individual grievances or disputes. Public comments related to education, the board agenda, and the district are welcome and encouraged, but public comment segments are not forums to engage in personal attacks against school board employees or board members. To maintain orderly conduct, the public comment segments of the meeting may not be used as open forums to discuss matters unrelated to education, to support or oppose candidates for public office, including presentation of political and/or campaign issues, announcing candidacy and/or campaigning, or to engage in commercial speech, attempting to sell a service or product to the board or the public. Nor are they forums to address matters involving disciplinary actions of any kind, pending claims, complaints, or litigation against the district or district personnel. Public comment segments durations are as follows: Agenda items limited to 3 minutes. One group representative speaking on a proposition, maximum of 6 minutes. Speaker must remain on topic for agenda item proposition. Non-agenda items limited to 2 minutes. Speakers shall address their comments to the board and may not address the audience or other speakers. No speaker may yield his or her time to any other person. Generally, substitutions of speakers will not be allowed.
Thank you so much. And I have 3 speaker forms. If you'll come over here to this podium, David White, Nina Sandberg, and Raquel Molina, please. 3 minutes. Good evening.
Good evening. Hello? There we go. Good evening. First off, Happy New Year. We haven't seen you since last year. After going through a due process complaint against Seminole County, it was determined that the district had violated the IDEA and denied my child free appropriate public education for not providing one-on-one nursing. The violations were so clear that the judge ruled against the district and gave 30 days to comply to provide a nurse, which I've been fighting for over 2 years. Why does it take a court order for this district to follow the law? Is it because you assume parents don't know their rights? Or is it because you knowingly violate the law and think an apology will suffice when you're caught? Either way, this behavior is unacceptable. The judge gave you 30 days to comply with the judge's order. For my son's sake, and for every child in this district, let's hope the district follows through. Unfortunately, we're now dealing with retaliation from the district. Since pursuing due process, my family has been targeted. Here are just a few examples. I have 3 children that attend Wicklow. One of them is special needs. He gets picked up in front of our home. The other 2 children also go to Wicklow, are now being required to ride a completely different bus. They are not allowed to board the same bus with their brother to go to the same school at the exact same time. We're being told we have to meet another bus about a quarter mile away from the house out of a gated community, about 40 minutes earlier than what Hayden gets on the bus at. We're being required to sign in medications, including controlled substances, with untrained, unlicensed front desk staff rather than medical professionals, which is very different than how we've handled it for the past 2 years. We're being prohibited from visiting Hayden's classroom, even though policies state we are allowed to do classroom visits. We are allowed to have lunch with students. And we're being forced to arrive earlier than the school's opening time to even provide the medication if we wanted to give it to a nurse. And that's on top of numerous staff ignoring calls, emails, unless I involve both my attorney and the district's attorney. Is this how the district treats families who advocate for their children? Retaliation and obstruction should never be part of the process, yet that's exactly what we've experienced. The judge's ruling was clear, and the law is clear. But instead of working with families, this district forces parents into legal battles and retaliates when we stand up for our children. This behavior has to stop. It's time for the district to prioritize our children, follow the law, and treat families with the respect and support we deserve. No more excuses, no more retaliation. It needs to change. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Nina Sandberg, followed by Raquel Molina. Good evening.
I'm Nina Sandberg. It looks like you are removing the IEP input from the IEP team with regards to testing. You need to stop automatically approving agenda items concerning special needs children without thoroughly reviewing them and seeking input from those who it affects. You should not be approving this agenda item. SCPS has a very negative history of not providing IEP students with the accommodations, support, and resources that they need even when they are legally required to. SCPS has a negative history of not following IEPs, 504s, and even doctor's notes. SCPS has a very negative history of illegally retaliating against both students and parents after SCPS violates the law and denies students proper exceptional education, services, accommodations, medical accommodations, child care, medical care, and FAPE. SCPS needs to be doing more for its special needs students and not less. These are the most vulnerable students in the school system, and some of them have been treated horrifically in this school system, and so have their parents. This is one of the big disgraces inside of SCPS. It's historical bad treatment of special needs students and their families. SCPS needs to do better. Do not approve this agenda item tonight. Also, by the way, in my child's case, SCPS knowingly violated the law and did so defiantly for months, and also engaged in retaliation for months. This all has to stop. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Molina. Good evening.
Good evening. My name is Raquel Molina. Thank God we are now one nation under God. And thank God the tide is turning finally. All the hypocrites needs to go out of here. I'm so tired of it. Good news, a judge in Seminole County determined that the district violated IDEA and denied a special education student FAPE. I'm not surprised, but thank God they confirmed that you guys did that. I'm not surprised. I am thankful that they confirmed it. Hopefully the judge will also determine that the parents were retaliated for advocating for their special needs child. If SCPS board members, school officials, and superintendent can't follow your own policies and procedures, much less enforce the special education laws, then you should all be criminalized for breaking the law and for covering up physical and mental abuse. Time for change is now, because the parents and ethical teachers are fed up with the lies in the SCPS. I have the utmost respect and admiration for all those caring, ethical teachers, parents, and politicians like Mayor Matt Morgan that have and continue to advocate for all students, especially those without a voice. To all the good, caring teachers in SCPS, thanks for being their voices while SCPS continues to deny, delay, deflect, and while parents are retaliated, full-blown retaliation for protecting their children's rights. You all should be fired and criminalized for failing our special education students and for retaliating against parents, employees, and students. Shame on you, hypocrites.
Thank you. Okay, that's all of the agenda item comments. Superintendent, do you have a recommendation regarding the consent agenda?
Yes, that the consent agenda be approved as presented.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Member Dellinger, is there a second?
Second.
Member Davis, is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Okay. Excuse me just a minute. Superintendent, do you have a recommendation on student discipline hearings?
Yes, that the School Board of Seminole County approve the student disciplinary recommendations from 12/9/2024 and 12/16/2024.
Do you have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Madam, okay. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. There is no unfinished business. Superintendent, do you have a report?
Yes, I do. Chair Krause, the report is primarily in the book and is read only. And as Dr. Gar Harold makes his way up to the podium, I want to have him talk a little bit about two new programs that we'll be rolling out for us next school year, but also want to say I'm looking really forward to our Employee of the Year and Teacher of the Year celebrations that are coming up later this week and then next week, and celebrating with our employees and our teachers. And also, just a number of you have mentioned the wonderful events over the weekend. Want to say congratulations to our students. We had winners in the oratorical contest from Lyman, Winter Springs, Seminole, and Lake Mary. And also a number of our folks, Mr. R.T. Hillary, who we know well, the Humanitarian Award, and congratulations to Mr. Bird, the Brotherhood Award. So it's just a great weekend, celebrating lots of good happening for our students and from our folks in the community. And so I will turn it over to Dr. Gar Harold to talk about a little bit of good news that we received right after the new year as it relates to some of our programs.
And I'm surprised to see you. I thought you were going to be in Tallahassee.
Well, apparently Tallahassee is closed. And so they let me know yesterday that they would be rescheduling our time together. So.
Okay.
So I am excited to share two new opportunities that we'll be offering to our students in the fall of 25. Both of these represent expansions of our current programs of emphasis. And so the first one would be at Oviedo High School, and I had the clerk provide both of you with the flyers, and then there are copies at the back table for anyone who is interested in seeing those, or they can find those through the ePathways website. But the first one is a rename of the program of emphasis at Oviedo High School, and it will now be called Roots to Research. So previously we had the Industrial Biotechnology program at Oviedo High School, and it's been wildly successful. A couple of really phenomenal teachers there that have done exceptional work. But we also hear from our community that agriculture is a priority in the Oviedo area. And so in the 25-26 school year, we will be adding agricultural biotechnology. And so one is really about kind of pharmaceuticals and sustainable fuels and those sorts of things, whereas the agricultural biotechnology concludes with a student selection where they can choose either kind of an animal path or a plant-based path for agriculture. And so we have been working with some of our industry partners who are in the agriculture community. We've been working with Farm Bureau, FFA, some of our local high schools that already have agriculture programs, the UF Extension, and we are excited to get this program off the ground. We've met with the teachers, with the counselors. We had student interest meetings already with some of the high school students. We'll be going to the middle schools, I believe later this week, to talk to those students. But adding that agriculture aspect, I think, is a piece of Seminole County that we don't currently have, that there is a population within our community that really values that experience. And so we're excited to offer that opportunity. The second one comes with big dollars. And so this is as was noted in the media, we had in the past the Public Service Academy at Winter Springs High School, which included criminal justice, emergency management, and principles of teaching. And now we will be adding, over the course of the next 3 years, the Fire Academy at Winter Springs High School that came with the Capitalization Improvement Grant from the Florida Department of Education in the amount of $2.7 million. So we will be growing that program probably not as fast as everyone who has been calling me and emailing me would like, but we will be rolling that out in the 25-26 school year with the first course in the sequence. I even had a firefighter call me today, and he said, "How do I get to be your first teacher?" So I think that the interest of our students is there, the interest of our community is there, the school is over the moon. And so we will be renaming that academy to the SERVE Academy, which stands for Skills in Emergency, Response, Valor, and Education. And we will begin enrollment in the Fire Academy. The first course in that sequence will start next year. And then it is a 3-year program. So a student who maybe starts next year as a freshman, at the end of their junior year, will have completed the program with us and will then have the opportunity to do dual enrollment in the fire program at Seminole State College. And so just the community support from Seminole State College, from our local fire departments. My very first immediate email was from Doreen Overstreet at the Seminole County Fire Department, and just overwhelming. And so we're very excited to be able to open up new doors and new pathways for our students.
That's excellent. Any questions, board member? Yes, go ahead, Member Sanchez.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited about both of these programs and all the wonderful pathways that we have for our students. And I've been sharing them on social media, and I know so many people still don't even realize that we have so many pathways. And marketing-wise, I know that some people aren't on social media. What would be a great way for us to get that information out to even our senior citizens that are reaching out and saying, oh my gosh, I had no idea you have this many programs available, and what's your E, and understanding employment, enlistment, and education. And I've been sharing it as much as I can, but so many still are not aware of all the wonderful programs that we're offering.
And so I will say, first of all, we do have, of course, our district website, and we do have our social media, as you mentioned, starting in February. So February is CTE month, so you'll see me up here a whole lot in February. But we also will be starting something that we started last year. Member Dellinger had the opportunity to participate. It's called CTE Rocks. And we basically do like a rock and roll tour with T-shirts. We rent a tour bus, and we go around to the CTE programs, and we invite members of the community to join us for those tours so that they can see firsthand what's happening in our schools. We had a number of individuals. We did 3 different dates in February last year. We had a number of individuals that went to all 3. This year we'll be spreading those out over the course of a few weeks, so that if maybe one week is just a little bit more chaotic for folks, that they'll have the opportunity to participate in any of those. And so working with Catherine Cernkovich and her team, we will get that information out to our community as broadly as possible, and hope that others will share, because sharing is caring.
Wonderful, thank you.
I had a quick question. I don't know if this is appropriate. Can you speak to the joint work session we had with Seminole State regarding the teacher pathway?
Sure, yeah.
Just briefly? Okay.
Sure. So previously we had the TEACH program, which was an opportunity for students who were in high school that identified teaching as their potential profession to begin that career path in high school, working with Seminole State and with UCF. We have now reimagined that program. It's now called SCOPE, Seminole County Opportunities for Pathways in Education. So a student in their junior and or senior year would start 2 dual enrollment courses. Once they finish those 2 kind of introduction to teaching programs or teaching courses, they would enter the teaching program at Seminole State College, where they can get a bachelor's degree in either elementary education or exceptional student education, along with their reading endorsement and ESOL endorsement. And then Seminole State will work with them to make sure that they do this at low or no cost as possible. And then when they graduate, they are offered a notice of nomination to teach in Seminole County Public Schools. In their first year with us, they get $2,000 to spend on classroom supplies. In their second year with us, they get another $1,000 to spend on classroom supplies, and we ask that they mentor a new TEACH graduate. So we did an interest meeting. We had 81 students that attended interest meetings. We have 4 students that are going to matriculate to Seminole State College in 2025, and then 7 more. As of right now, those are the numbers. Those could potentially go up, but 7 more that will matriculate in the 26 school year.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you so
of course.
much. Any questions, board members? Any other? Yes, first I saw Dr. Dellinger.
Sorry, it's not really a question, but I did want to say Dr. Gard-Harold mentioned the CTE Rocks. Is that what it was? Yeah. I was very fortunate to be able to go on the 3 trips that, I think I went on 3 that they had planned. But if you have a morning open, it's really an opportunity to not only see the CTE program in operation at a school, but also just to get to see the students in the school, interact with the teachers and that kind of thing. And it's a great way to see what's happening in our high schools with those programs. It was a great experience. I wasn't very good at some of the things they asked me to try out, but it still was just really super. So, you know, get out there, you know, fill up the bus. It's a great opportunity to share share those programs with the public.
And thank you, Dr. Dellinger. We will also include a middle school, at least one middle school, on this year's tour.
Excellent. Vice Chair.
And if I may, Dr. Grant-Harold, I just wanted to say thank you to your team. This is a shining example of the robust partnerships we have with our community partners, not just those in education at Seminole State, but also with our municipalities, our city leaders, our fire departments, our police departments, and listening to those in the community, what they need from our students so that they truly are future ready, and we're preparing them to be to hit the ground running as soon as they graduate. So thank you for these amazing opportunities, and we look forward to hearing more.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay.
That is my report, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that update. Okay, and we did the report. Okay, board comments. This is the time for our committee updates, and we'll start with Member Dellinger, please. Any updates?
Yes, so I finally had my first committee meetings. I am a member of the audit committee, and we have not actually had a meeting yet, but we're in the process of scheduling possibly for February. But I did get really solid orientation to how the committee works, and so I'm looking forward to that. We're scheduling hopefully for February. And also the Business Advisory Board. I attended that meeting. We got a wonderful introduction to custodial services from the custodial services team. And the BAB will be doing a deep dive into custodial services. So that's going to be very interesting. They gave us a lot of homework, which I will be diving into soon. And then also I did attend virtually Central Florida School Boards Association meeting, and they are just working on their legislative slate to be presented down the road. And that's it for me for committees.
Thank you so much. Member Davis, any committee updates?
Not yet, but I'm looking forward to a new 2025.
Thank you. Member Sanchez.
So we had our Central Florida Zoo meeting last week. You'll be happy to know that the Asian Lantern Festival had record number of attendance than we've ever had in history. Even the night that our meeting was on Wednesday night, it was already sold out. So we had every single night sold out, and such a popular thing that they wanted it to even extend it. However, it puts a lot of stress on our employees there. They wanted to see if they could add 2 more weeks to it, but I don't know if that's something that we could do. We were blessed because we had great weather for the past month that the Asian Lantern Festival was going. So I think anybody that was able to go was able to see how phenomenal of an event it is and everything that it offers. It also helps with all of our exhibits and things like that. We have the new leopard. A merle leopard is going to be on exhibit soon. We have a 6-year-old female and a 7-year-old male that will be there. Some new warhogs that are coming in on loan. Our Hispanic Heritage celebration, which is the Sunset at the Zoo celebrating Hispanic Heritage, was canceled back in October due to the hurricanes. It is rescheduled for January 24th. So if anyone is interested in attending that, that will be on that date. We will then have the Indigo Blues and Barbecue Festival, which is February 8th. That is coming up. And then I will share the other ones after that. And then we just finished signing another 2-year, or we're getting ready to sign another lease just to keep everything going. And of course, there are tons of educational opportunities online or in person for many people to go and see and be a part of. Also, I had a chance to be on my FSBA Equity and Legislative Committee meeting, and everybody gave an update of what's going on in their county. And we spoke about some of the different things that are going on. Our neighboring county, Orange County, was talking about affordable housing and some things that they're doing, which I am meeting with one of the school board members next week, just to kind of pick her brain to see what she's doing to help with affordable housing for their employees. I thought that was really interesting. And then also wanted you to know that I did bring up, because of the delegation meeting and after we had done all of our asks at the delegation meeting of needing extra mental health counselors and all of our asks that we wanted, that we were told that there's going to be an over $1.3 billion cut this year coming up. 1.3 billion or more. And so that was really concerning. Also wanted to mention during that discussion, I also brought up that we have lost over 500,000 students in the state to voucher program. Last year I had estimated that we would be seeing about $3 billion of tax-paying money that would be lost. They were saying, Andrea Messina and Angie Gallo, our first VP, what is she, President-elect, was saying that it was more than $4 billion. So I wanted to bring up that don't forget to enroll your VPK kids as well, because I know we talked about kindergarten enrollment, but isn't VPK starting now too?
Yes,
Please don't forget, or you will lose your spot. And it's really critical. We have some phenomenal VPK programs. We'd love for your kids to be enrolled in them, so please check out our website, get them enrolled. And then the joint workshop, you get, that's actually nothing to do with this. So, and I just wanted to do a shout out real quick to Student Success Express Bus, who walked in the parade, or did the parade with us, but then also went over to the park afterwards and stayed there the whole entire time, answering questions and things like that. That Student Success Express Bus will help you navigate if you don't know how to use Skyward, or if you want to find a job within our district, you can navigate through that. Or if you aren't sure how to do some of the different applications, anything and everything. There's books on there. If you can't speak English and you need somebody to translate for you, we have tutorial options. We have so many different things on there. So that bus will circulate, and if you're not sure where that bus is going to be, just check out our website, and it's there, so you can possibly find it in your neighborhood at any given time. So please take that opportunity when you can, because that bus has been a really big help and getting information out to our community. Thank you.
Thank you so much. My committee's, the Value Adjustment Board is set to meet in February. The superintendent and I attended mayors and managers today, and we got updated reports from each of the jurisdictions. One of the issues issues facing our community is homelessness, because they are supposed to be, we're responsible for them in our community, obviously. And that was an issue for each of how are we going to deal with that. The county expressed an interest in developing a summit with public-private partnerships, our faith-based partners, to come together. They said, check your egos at the door, come together, and let's solve this problem, because it's facing all of us. I know in our district we have 3,100 identified homeless students. These are our kids. These are our kids. Okay. So I'm really looking forward to that. And if nothing else comes of this, it will be a one-stop resource to get information out to people that are facing homelessness. So the county is also moving to a micro transit model with electric vehicles. They will duplicate the Links program that we have. They'll pick up at the door. I mean, it's custom. It will also link to the Sunrail, and potentially our students can hop on to get to Seminole State to take their dual enrollment classes. So we're looking forward to having that evolve. And we have a partnership also with the city of Altamont. What did they call that?
Agile.
Right. It is very cool. And as soon as we get an invite to see all of the work they're doing, we'll make sure that you get that out. Also, please double check your calendars. We have been invited to the State of the County, February 14th, Valentine's. And they said to block off 11 to 1. So I'm hoping that you all can check your calendars, RSVP, I guess, to Jean Van Smith with the foundation. And finally, it's not an official committee, but I serve on the Orlando Science Center, and they were just awarded a $1 million donation to transform the Cinedome into a state-of-the-art digital experience. So we're looking forward to how that evolves as well. Okay, that concludes the report section.
If I may?
Yes. I'm sorry. Did I jump over you?
You did.
I am so sorry.
That's all right.
Okay.
I can grab a microphone. I wanted to let you know that the foundation, my first foundation meeting will be next week, but Director Van Smith was kind enough to sit down with me and go over some of the priorities that the foundation has, what they're looking forward to focusing on in the future. So I will be happy to report back after next week. Also a non-official board committee, but one that feeds directly into our schools is the Midway Coalition. So we met at the Midway Safe Harbor Center. The plans are moving ahead to upgrade the water infrastructure in that area, which will be vital to our students and families, particularly those that attend Midway, Millennium, and Hamilton as well is a big draw for that community. I did want to talk about, I missed an event with you all because it was my Leadership Seminole class, and this month the focus was on health throughout our community, and it was fascinating to me the intersections between education and health, and that one of the main things that I learned is that the education access and quality is a social determinant of health. And though our focus is primarily VPK through 12, one of my passions, has always been early literacy, and that was became apparent when we were talking about the importance of emergent reading skills, language and literacy, and the development of the brain, that it really is true health. And if our kids do not have exposure to educational resources from birth to 4, then it puts them at a significant advantage once we get them, hopefully, in VPK. So please, I will be talking to our partners throughout the county and beyond, trying to make sure that we can get strong strategic partnerships to give the kids the foundation they need when they enter into our domain, the VPK through 12. So that was a really robust discussion and day, and thank you very much, fellow board members, for funding that program. I've really learned a lot and will continue. One more, Superintendent, you had mentioned a shout out to the MLK recipients, Quinn Bird of the Midway Safe Harbor Center and R.T. Hillary, who has a vast array of endeavors, but also has served as well at the Business Advisory Committee at Crooms for many, many years. But one of our partners that does a lot of work with Hamilton Elementary as well as in Midway and in Goldsboro is the Picnic Project, who is committed. They won the community community award from MLK, and their mission is to make sure that our families, particularly our families that are housing insecure, have food throughout those times that school's not in session, or anybody that might fall through the cracks. So we want to say congratulations, and we're so pleased to have so many strategic partnerships. And our meeting with a joint workshop, of course, with Seminole State. For those that don't know, Seminole State is one of the top 10 state colleges in the country. So there are 1,500 plus state colleges, and in our backyard, working alongside to make sure that our students are successful. Seminole State is in the top 10, and they may be number 1.
Yeah,
they're in the running, so we're cheering them on. So I wanted to give a shout out to our partners at Seminole State, and of course, led by the amazing Dr. Georgia Lorenz.
And they said they might live stream it, so we might be able to watch.
So,
yes, Member Sanchez, did
I
you
just
have a-
wanted to add, I know I talked about VPK, but don't forget our Great Start program that's led underneath Dr. Cummings, and how we do start from the birth on up, and how critical it is for early literacy and what we do to instill that. And we are one of the only counties in the state of Florida that provides the Great Start program. I believe there's maybe 3, as far as I know so far, that we have made that a priority. So the Great Start program, starting at early literacy, has been something that has been one of my passions since I've been on the board since 2016, and we have kept it as a priority. So let's continue that and watching it grow. So we're blessed.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And one other thing I wanted to add, I heard from former board member Dr. Calderon. She is now a Grammy. Her son welcomed a baby boy in December, so congratulations to Dr. Calderon.
we'll make sure to hook them up with Great Start.
Yes, exactly. We've got to get her that bib, class of 20, what is it now, 1852 or something. Okay, it is now time for non-agenda public comments, and I only have one, Ms. Nina Sandberg. Good evening again.
Thank you. I'm Nina Sandberg. America voted against using our public schools as radical extremist left-wing indoctrination centers or as campaign offices for the Democrat Party. It is time to focus on education instead of indoctrination in our public
Order,
schools.
please. Allow her to
America
speak.
voted to get rid of equity, diversity, and inclusion because it is the George Jefferson version of racism, bigotry, prejudice, sexism, anti-Semitism, discrimination, favoritism, segregation, exclusion, and hate, as opposed to the Archie Bunker version. It has no place in our schools, and it is a violation of civil rights law. SCPS needs to remove equity, diversity, and inclusion from this school district. SCPS needs to return to civil rights, equal opportunities, and constitutional rights. SCPS needs to stop judging people according to their immutable characteristics and return to judging people by the content of their character. SCPS needs to replace the Equity, Diversity and Inclusion Committee and Superintendent with a properly functioning Civil Rights Compliance Office that makes sure that SCPS is in compliance with the law. SCPS needs to stop denying a free, appropriate public school education to special needs students. SCPS needs to stop the illegal retaliation culture that is done to students, parents, and even employees. The corruption that still lingers inside of SCPS needs to be rooted out. Parents, students, and even employees need ethics, honesty, integrity, and professionalism inside of SCPS, and that comment was completely and totally inappropriate.
Please.
Thank you. That concludes our public comments. Ms. Cole-Palmer, did you have a request? I have it on a note here.
Yes, I do. Thank you, Chair Kraus. Good evening, board members, Ms. Beeman. I'm requesting a closed litigation executive session during board meeting on February 4th, 2025 at 4 p.m. with regards to the litigation of HW versus Seminole County School, DOA case number 24-3248E. Along with each board member, the superintendent, myself, and the court reporter, and possibly a staff attorney steward will be present. Your guidance for next steps are needed regarding this matter.
Thank you so much. And you've
Thank
marked
you.
our calendars. Of course you have, because you're our Joe. You're our Joe. Okay, I think that concludes our meeting. Any final comments, Superintendent? We're ready to go. Okay, this meeting is adjourned at 7:02. Thank you all for being here.